Finally, RBI Grade B 2024 result has been announced, but now the biggest question in your mind is when RBI Grade B 2025 notification will be out. As per the past trend analysis, after the result is announced, we can expect the notification for the next cycle in the span of 2 months. That means in next 2 months, you will be expecting or you will be witnessing the RBI Grade B 2025 notification, and after the notification, minimum 45 days and maximum 60 days will be given to you for your phase 1 examination, which means the time is pretty less if you are preparing for RBI Grade B 2025 examination. So today in this video, I will be discussing with you 10 golden rules you must follow in order to clear this examination in the very first attempt itself. Trust me guys, all these rules which I will be discussing, they can be discussed independently in a video of 25 to 30 minutes which I will be coming up in the near future. And after watching this video, if you want me to serve you with the detailed video on each and every rule, then do comment in the comment section and I will be sharing the videos as well. Let's get started. If I say the first rule is you must know the importance of the syllabus as well as previous year question paper. So if you are preparing for any examination, you thoroughly review the syllabus of that exam and go through with the previous year question papers, which will help you to analyze the examination pretty well. Second is strategy you need to frame for phase 1 examination. Third, what should be the strategy for current affairs, not only for phase 1 but for phase 2 as well. Fourth, and the most important, is you must be in a confusion that, sir, whether I should study, I should follow the newspaper or not for RBI Grade B exam. I'll be answering this question. Then fifth, I will be answering impact of descriptive part in your strategy whenever you are preparing for an examination, which include the descriptive section, what should be your strategy to clear it. Next is what is required at your end in order to ace, in order to score pretty well in the descriptive section. Seventh golden rule is study plan. That is really very important. How to create a study plan, what all things you need to keep in mind in order to clear this examination before framing your study plan. Then how to attempt the RBI Grade B mock test, on what frequency you need to attempt them and what should be the right source to follow. Ninth is importance of books in RBI Grade B journey. And lastly, I will be answering few common doubts of the candidates related to the same. So as I said, all these 10 golden rules, if you are following them, analyzing them pretty correctly, then you will be in a position to clear this examination. And if you like this video, do reply me in the comment section. I will be bringing detailed video for each and every golden rule. As you can see, the detailed video can easily be presented. Let's begin the discussion. Let's start our discussion with the first part, that is importance of the syllabus and previous year question papers. I would say for RBI, triple S is the rule. Triple S basically means stick strictly to the syllabus. If you're sticking strictly to the syllabus, especially for the phase 2 examination, trust me guys, you will be in a position to answer more than 90% of the questions in the phase 2 exam. Why I'm referring only phase 2? Because for phase 1, no syllabus is defined. So we cannot say what to follow, what not to follow. Rather, for phase 1, it's our analysis, which we have done on the basis of the past exams. But for phase 2, we have detailed syllabus. And if you are following the syllabus word by word, you are covering each and every topic which is mentioned in the syllabus, you will land up answering more than 90% of the examination for phase 2. Next point is exam-oriented preparation is very much required for ESI, finance and management, because in the notification 2022, it was very clearly mentioned that RBI is not asking you to prepare finance. RBI is asking you to prepare general finance, which means technical financial term related questions won't be asked, but yes, on those technical financial terms, question can be framed from the current affairs. So if you want to understand the current affairs, you must have a good knowledge about the financial terms, but that doesn't mean you need to dig deep in every financial term in order to prepare for this examination, because 99.9% there will be no descriptive question on technical finance. What I mean by the term technical finance, they can ask you write a note on Basel norms, but they won't ask you write a detailed note on liquidity coverage ratio, or maybe leverage ratio, or maybe net stable funding ratio. So these terms are pretty technical terms. If you know them, on the surface level, that is more than sufficient for you. Lastly, you need to analyze the previous year question papers pretty well, because this will help you to analyze and understand the depth of the examination. Moving on to Rule 2. Rule 2 talks about the strategy for phase 1. We all know that phase 1 is qualifying in nature, and the highest weightage is given to the general awareness section. Majorly, current affairs section would be a good word, would be a good name for this section. But students are pretty confused about quantitative aptitude, reasoning, English, what to study, what not to study. Then my answer would be, in case of quantitative aptitude, you need to study only 3 topics. In case of reasoning, you need to cover only 5 topics. And for English, trust me, you can easily score 20 plus marks after watching this video. So what you need to do is, firstly, if I talk about phase 1, remember guys, never presume the cutoff for phase 1 before you go for the examination. Second point is, sectional cutoff is observed maximum to be 25%. That means for quantitative aptitude, which is of 30 marks, sectional cutoff highest has been witnessed till date, that is 7.5 marks. So you must focus in that direction, because quantitative aptitude and reasoning is not going to help you in phase 2. So just focus to clear the sectional cutoff and invest your time accordingly, and major investment should be done for your general awareness or current affairs section. Last point is, there is a substantial difference between the sum of sectional cutoff as well as the overall cutoff. That means if you are clearing the sectional cutoff for all the 4 sections, it won't help you to clear overall cutoff of the examination, which means quant and reasoning should be targeted in a manner that you clear or you just score the sectional cutoff. But in case of English and general awareness, the score should be much higher than your sectional cutoff. That should be much higher than the 25% of each section total marks, so that collectively you can clear the overall cutoff. Last but not the least is, practice obviously makes you perfect, and every single mark is really very important in phase 1 examination, because the majority elimination in RBI Grade B examination cycle is done in the phase 1 itself. Now, if I talk about quantitative aptitude, as I mentioned, 3 topics are more important, or I would say most important. Those 3 topics, I'm just highlighting it for you. One is DI. You need to cover DI thoroughly. Second, you need to cover number series thoroughly. And third is cover the quadratic equation thoroughly. If you're covering these 3 topics, you will be in a position to attempt 15 to 20 questions in the examination, where you are targeting 7.5 marks. So I think it is quite achievable. But remember, quantitative aptitude is a tough call, especially with RBI exam. Same goes for reasoning. That means rather than studying everything, if you are studying very limited topics, you should study them, you should practice them thoroughly, so that in the examination you are well prepared to answer all the type of questions from these sections. For reasoning, again, I would say 5 topics are important. One is puzzle as well as sitting arrangement, alphanumeric series, then we have syllogism, 4th is directions, and 5th one is blood relation. Just cover these 5 topics. It will help you to answer more than 30 to 35 questions out of 60. In case of English, there are a number of topics, but I would suggest 3 things. One is reading. If you have good reading skills, you have decent vocab, and you are aware of the grammar rules, then you are the candidate who is going to score more than 20 marks in this examination. Especially, I'm focusing on the English section, because English section is much doable in comparison to quantitative aptitude and reasoning as per the past analysis. Now, moving on to the next section, that is general awareness. In case of general awareness, 3 types of questions are asked. Question based on current affairs, then very few questions on static GK, and last is question related to the banking and financial awareness. Basically, I'm talking about the conceptual questions related to banking and finance. For example, a question on CRAR, question could be on NBFC types, because it was in news, base layer, mid layer, upper layer, top layer, or there could be a question related to urban cooperative banks, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 urban cooperative banks, because they were in news in the recent times. But as I said in the starting, current affairs is something which is going to hold majority in this particular examination, and current affairs syllabus is undefined. Current affairs syllabus is undefined. Hold on for this. I'll give you the answer how to study. Majority questions will be asked from the current affairs, but relevant to the syllabus. That means ESI related current affairs, finance related current affairs will be focused. Last 4 to 5 months of current affairs is going to cover 85% of all the total current affairs section questions, which means if you are planning to clear this examination, how many months of current affairs is important? On safe side, you must have heard last 9 months. I agree to that. But in order to clear the exam, in order to attempt around 80 to 85% questions based on current affairs, then I would say 4 to 5 months of current affairs is going to solve the purpose. Areas to cover on past analysis, the areas which you need to cover on past analysis for phase 1 and phase 2 are now on your screen. So in case of phase 1 and phase 2 current affairs, I would not talk about only phase 1, I'll not talk about phase 2, rather I will talk about both the current affairs in one segment. We have divided these current affairs into 3 categories. On one side we have general current affairs, which is relevant only for phase 1, which include appointments, awards, MOUs, summits, government initiatives till this part. It is relevant for phase 1 alone, but budget, economic survey, international organization in news, they are relevant for phase 2 as well. Moving on to the second segment, that is ESI current affairs, which will be asked in ESI paper 3 of phase 2 as well as in phase 1, which includes schemes. You need to cover the schemes which are in news in past 4 to 5 months thoroughly. You need to cover the latest reports and indices, analyze them pretty well, and you need to cover the government publications, for example, budget, economic survey, and the other publications given by the government. Last is finance current affairs. It can be broadly divided into 2 categories. One is banking and financial world updates, and most importantly, RBI updates that include RBI notification, RBI press release, RBI bulletin. Then we have RBI official speeches, RBI reports. These are something important segment for your finance section, and trust me, in phase 1 as well as in phase 2, majority questions from current affairs, especially finance current affairs, will be based on RBI updates. Now, if you want to know how can you prepare for these sections, as I said, you need to comment in the comment section. If you want the detailed video on every golden rule, I will be making them, and I will be discussing the strategy for each and every rule in detail. Last but not the least is, sir, how many months of current affairs do I need to cover? Last 9 months, last 6 months, last 4 to 5 months. What should be your answer? See, if you want an answer, keeping in mind the level of the examination, I would say last 9 months. But if you are a candidate who is planning to start preparation from today onwards, then for you, I would say last 6 months of current affairs will help you to clear this examination. But if you are someone who cannot memorize, who cannot remember the data, cannot remember the news in a better manner, then I would say at least last 3 months of current affairs will help you. Last 3 months of current affairs will help you to clear phase 1 examination. And by the time you appear for the phase 2 examination, then cover the previous 3 months as well. So for phase 2, at least 6 months of current affairs. For phase 1, at least 3 months of current affairs, in order to fully furnish format where you want yourself to be in a position to answer most of the questions. Then last 9 months of current affairs is required. But it all depends the time you have. You may be watching this video when only 3 months are left in the examination. Still, there is a chance that you can clear this examination by covering the last 3 months of current affairs thoroughly. Then the next point is, so what is the importance of newspaper in this examination? See, newspaper is important in this exam, but we should not follow the newspaper for covering the current affairs. For current affairs, we already have many sessions for you all. We have YouTube session by Manish Sir on PIB news. We also conduct a session on finance current affairs Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 5:15 p.m., which is conducted by me. That is more than sufficient for covering the PIB and finance current affairs, as well as you can follow the general current affairs session, which is available. But newspaper is important for improving your descriptive writing skills, because whenever you follow the newspaper, just try to focus upon important articles and editorials in the newspaper relevant to your syllabus. Read those articles, write a summary of those articles with you. This will help you to understand how to write a good answer, what should be the flow of the answer, how to articulate an answer, and how to structurize an answer to score good marks in the examination. Now, whenever fifth rule talks about what is going to be the impact on your preparation if descriptive section based questions are asked in the examination, then my answer to this particular question is, if your examination include only and only objective paper, then if you have a brief overview about a particular topic, that will solve your purpose to answer the objective question. But in case of descriptive section, you need in-depth knowledge of each and every topic. This makes RBI Grade B a tough exam because we have huge syllabus for phase 1 and phase 2, especially for phase 2, and you cannot afford to miss any of the topic which is mentioned in the syllabus for phase 2, because you never know, its weightage can directly jump to 10 marks or 15 marks if they are asked in the descriptive format. Second point is, you can use elimination process while answering objective questions, but there is no elimination process utilized in descriptive section. Rather, you must have good writing skills to clear the examination. Keywords, they play a really very important role while answering the objective question, but in case of descriptive, you need to cover all the topics mentioned in the syllabus thoroughly. Next is, exact information and factual data is required if there is a question, if there is a fact-based question, especially question related to budget and economic survey. But if you don't remember the facts in much detail, you can even put approximate data while writing a descriptive answer. But you must have a detailed analysis of government policies, RBI policies, RBI reports, government reports, as well as government publications, because this analysis will help you to answer paragraph-based questions in your paper 1, that is ESI, as well as paper 3, finance and management. Moving on to the sixth golden rule. The sixth golden rule is, sir, how I can prepare really very well for the descriptive section. So I have 10 points which you must keep in mind while preparing for descriptive section. First one is, you must hold a curiosity to learn. If you come across with a financial term, you must have that curiosity that you should know what this term means. Google it, find it out. This will build your knowledge. This will increase your reading habit, and more you read will help you to write a good answer. So do lots and lots of reading, but relevant content should be read, which will improve your writing skills. As I said, follow financial newspaper as well as general newspaper, but focus on the editorial and article section so that you can write a good answer in the final examination as well. RBI website is very important. Notifications, press release, RBI speeches of the RBI officials. Most important is RBI reports, RBI bulletin. When you read all these reports now, it will help you to understand how actually the financial discussion, how actually the financial data as well as the financial terms are being described in a descriptive format, which will improve undoubtedly your writing skills. The next point is, you need to analyze the reports very well, as I already discussed. Sixth point is economic survey and budget. If I'm not wrong, in 2021, there was a descriptive question directly from the budget. So that shows the importance of budget in your examination. So you must prepare budget and economic survey in this manner. If descriptive question is asked, I will be in a position to answer it. Then thorough coverage of scheme is required, because if you have covered the schemes thoroughly, then only you can use the scheme reference, scheme data while answering the descriptive question, which will add cherry over the cake for your good descriptive answer. Next is retention and common sense. You need to retain as much as you can, and sometimes if you are in a situation that you cannot actually recall the data, then your common sense is going to help you a lot, because you have read so much of the data. Then you will be using that common sense in your examination to answer or to write or to use the approximate figures while writing a descriptive answer. Especially in case of management, you must have the ability to connect the management theories, management models with the real life example. That will add on much clarity to your answer. And last but not the least is latest trends and prevailing economic and social problems are very important. For example, right now in India, our share market is not doing well because of FPI offload. Now the question is why FPI is offloading from India, or I would say why FPI investors are disinvesting in India, which is making the Indian share market volatile. So this kind of topics are really very important because you can have a descriptive question not on this analytical topic, but a topic related to the issue which is prevailing in your day-to-day news, in your day-to-day discussion. So that is also important. Moving on to the last but not the least is that is theoretical framework is required. How to start an answer, how to end an answer, what should be your opening statement, what should be your closing statement. Undoubtedly, I will be taking up a video how to write a good descriptive answer in near future, but this theoretical framework is again really very important to write a good descriptive answer. Seventh rule is make a study plan. Now, obviously, the study plan will depend on an individual, whether you are working or you are full-time RBI Grade B aspirant, or maybe you are a college student in post-graduation, and along with your post-graduation, you're planning to attempt RBI. So study plan will differ in terms of how many hours you are going to devote on per day basis, but something which is in common to all, that is the priority. So your first priority for this exam is current affairs. And current affair needs consistency. If you are consistent, you are covering the current affairs on regular basis, you can easily answer most of the questions in the examination. And the static GK questions which can be asked in phase 1, or financial conceptual questions, economics conceptual question which can be asked in the examination, they are more or less related to current affairs only. For example, there is a news on FPI or there is a question on FPI. It's not because the examiner is randomly asking you what is FPI. Examiner is asking you FPI because FPI was in news recently due to the volatility in the share market. So current affairs will not only help you to answer the current affairs based questions alone, they will help you to answer conceptual questions as well. Then we have second priority must be given to management first, then ESI, then finance. Try to cover the concepts and theories and the relevant current events, especially related to ESI and finance. Third priority should be given to quant, reasoning and English because they are going to be asked in phase 1 and this part is going to be qualifying in nature. So prioritize this section on the third. So priority basically means the time you are going to devote. Priority is basically related to the time you are going to invest. So invest highest time in current affairs, then in phase 2 syllabus, and least time should be invested, and I would say should be invested in QRE, and the time invested in the QRE should be precise, focused and targeted, so that you should prepare clear and you should prepare only those topics which will help you to clear this examination. Next is how to attempt RBI Grade B mock test. When to attempt RBI Grade B mock test? Then my answer to this question is you must attempt the mock test once you have done 70% of the syllabus for phase 1 and phase 2, which means once you have done 70% syllabus for phase 1, start attempting the phase 1 mock test, and once you have done the 70% syllabus for phase 2, then you start attempting the mock test for phase 2 as well. Attempting a mock test is not important, but the question is how well you attempt it. So first you attempt a mock test, take a mock test. That is the first step and the least important step, trust me. Second important point is analyze your performance. Whatever you have done in the test, analyze it. Which all questions you attempted, but they went wrong. What was the mistake you did? Which all areas related questions you were not able to answer? Identify your weakness. And once you have identified your weakness, try to revise those weak areas thoroughly before sitting for the second mock test. Third is, before sitting for the second mock test, try to attempt practice questions based on the weak area. Last but not the least is keep your track that last month I have attempted so many mock tests. this was my score, and my score trajectory is increasing in nature. That means on day-to-day basis, my score is increasing in the mock test which I am attempting. That means I am going on a right track. Last is very important. What is the importance of books in RBI Grade B preparation? Especially the books mentioned for phase 2 syllabus in the RBI Grade B notification itself. Guys, if you are going to attempt the 2025 examination, that means you have a very limited time. It's impossible to cover the books which are mentioned in the notification. It's better you should not focus on the books, but if you want, then keep those books as a referral books. Referral books means, for example, there is a book related to management, just keep it as a referral book when you are reading a particular topic from the syllabus. If you feel that the clarity on that topic is still required, then only refer the book which has been mentioned. Otherwise, basic notes which you have on your day-to-day preparation basis, you can follow that. And if you have joined our paid courses at Testbook, then trust me, the ebooks which we are providing you, the class notes which we are providing you, that are more than sufficient. There is no need to refer any other book, even if it is mentioned in the RBI notification. Last but not the least is few common doubts which the candidates have. Generally, candidates ask me, so should I first prepare for phase 1 and then phase 2? No, that is blunder which you are going to make. You should prepare for phase 1 and phase 2 simultaneously in order to clear this examination. Simultaneously means divide your study hours in 2 segments. One segment should be invested for your phase 1 and the other segment should be invested for phase 2, and third segment should be invested in a day for current affairs. For example, you are devoting 2 hours for phase 1, 3 hours for current affairs, and then 3 to 4 hours on phase 2. This is how you can divide your preparation in the upcoming months for your RBI Grade B examination. Now, in case of phase 1 also, I'm not saying that you should prepare all the 3 topics in one go. No. For phase 1, start with, let's say you started with quantitative aptitude. For phase 2, let's say you started with management. So today, cover quantitative aptitude only, then cover management only, and last slot is going to be for your current affairs. Continue this same until and unless your quant is done. Once quant is done, then replace this time slot with reasoning. Continue till the time your management is done. Once the management is done, then replace it with finance, but current affairs is going to be consistent. So this is how in next 3 months you need to prepare for all of the topics. You have to prepare for all the topics, or you have to prepare for phase 1 and phase 2 simultaneously, but try to focus only 2 subjects in a day. Otherwise, your brain will not be in a position to digest the data which is being discussed. Sometimes I witness a question from the candidate that, sir, I'm not an IITian, I'm not an IIM student, I am not a UPSC aspirant. Is it possible for me, is it possible for an average candidate like me to clear this examination? My answer is yes. My answer is yes. In my past 11-12 years of experience, I have witnessed many students, which you call average students, means done schooling from an average school, then completed graduation again from one of the average colleges. Still, he or she has managed to clear this exam, that too in the very first attempt. The reason is consistency, motivation, dedication, and right strategy, along with concise and up-to-date material which is available on Testbook application. So if you follow this, you can clear this examination in the very first attempt itself. So I hope all the 10 rules which I discussed, they are important to clear the examination, and if you are following these rules, if you are taking these rules on a serious note, you will be in a position to clear this exam in the very first attempt. Before leaving, do like the session and do write in the comment section if you want a detailed video on each and every rule. I will be discussing each and every rule in much detail. For example, what is the importance of newspaper? How can you prepare for current affairs? How you should prepare for phase 1 examination? So those videos will be given to you in near future only after you mention it in the comment section. Thank you so much. Good luck. God bless you all.